Party people, we're back. Thanks for joining me for another episode of Yo Stop Playing. It's your guy A. Taylor. We're just going to jump right in it, man. I want this video to be short and brief, but the point of this video is to show and give my appreciation to Tobias Harris. No, this ain't going to be a popular video. I know it's going to get mad venom directed at it, but let's keep it 100. I warned cats about this months ago. And for the few that watched, you got it, or maybe you didn't. But the highlight of it was everybody wants a big three. And if Embiid's getting 35 and Max is getting 26, what's left for that third star? How many shot attempts is left? If Embiid's getting about 25 and Maxi's getting 22, you probably got about 14 shot attempts for that third star. Therefore, that third star has to be hella efficient. So this notion of getting three guys averaging 20, it's a pipe dream. It's something that's meant for 2K. It's not going to happen in real life, not in this landscape where the league is set up. And I warned you, you're going to chase a bigger fish trying to get that big three. And most of your folks complain with what Tobias was, not necessarily his play, but his salary. And I said, you complaining about what he getting at 40 million? Well, guess what? The next one is going to cost you 50 million. And you got it. And we just played 3 games at 50 million a year for the next 4 years. That's what you signed up for. And he's going to give you worse numbers than Tobias. I'm not in the Sixers locker room. I don't know what they do, but from the outside looking in, he seems like a dude that was always level-headed. He seems like he was well liked and respected through the locker room. He seemed like a cat that folks listen to. The voice of reason, right? That veteran leadership everybody talk about. I'm sure the problems that they're having now always existed. But he seems like the cat that'll keep it in house so it don't leak. Which is why Maxi's playing the role of team leader. Well, that role was normally assigned to Tobias. So whether you like him or not, whatever you think of him, the man was always there. May not always showed up with his 17, because like I said, based off the pi ratio, that's all that's left. So I mean, I need your 17 on a nightly basis. So I understand where the frustration would come. Not no 9 points or 0 points or whatever. But I warned you that you would go and get a third wheel, a third star, and I said at what price? And in this case here, the price is the locker room. You know, when you look at the history of most of the big three, 2 of the 3 has already been there already, so they got a rapport. They've been there. They've established themselves. The third guy is normally the outsider coming in, and he is trying to find his spot. Think of Bosh. Think of Kevin Love, Ray Allen. These guys, they, you know what I mean? They're trying to find, how they can fit in and do what they do and not disrupt or interrupt what the team's got going on. So for that, I say, Tobias, we miss you. Take your veteran leadership and sprinkle it all over the Detroit Piston locker room, because as you can see, there is none here in Philly. Yeah, you got Reggie Jackson, you got Kyle Lowry, you got a lot of old dudes, but they're new dudes. You know, Kyle Lowry came over second half near the tail end of the season. So you're talking about March or so. You know what I mean? So, he's new to cats, fairly new. Jackson and these guys, they're brand new. I just think that we need to stop with the 2K vibe because this ain't 2K. Quiet as kept, I'm a huge Yankee fan. Sorry to admit that on a Sixers site, but I'm a huge Yankee fan. And I'm going somewhere by saying that. In the 80s and parts of the 90s, Yankees had a bad habit of getting old talent. Dudes that were past their prime, but they had a name. Sounds familiar? Eric Gordon and these guys, dudes that had a name that was somebody. Knicks had the same problem too, going after Penny when he's past his prime. Antonio McDyess, these dudes when they were past their prime. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong, right? And then maybe I'll start a new segment called "Make It Make Sense." Somebody help me make it make sense that just a year and a half ago you were belly aching about giving Harden $50 million a year because he was 34, 35, or knocking on the door at 34, 35. And then you gladly rush to the front of the line, shove everybody out the line to give $50 million to a 35-year-old Paul George. Make it make sense. Not giving somebody $50 million because you feel they're past their prime or they're old and they're gonna start to decline, but you give that same money to someone that's older. I don't get it. Develop talent. Put your scouting department to use like you did with McLean and Maxey. See the trajectory in which the league is going in terms of talent, trends. Get this dinosaur out of here by the name of Daryl Morey. Anybody linked to him. Because if you think you really can play small ball in this league and you don't need size and you don't need length and you don't need athleticism, then you're sadly mistaken. You have no idea what's going on with basketball. You have no idea. You just there collecting a check. And I'm tired of looking at this dude collect a hell of a check. So with that being said, party people, like, comment, subscribe. Definitely like, man. Let's get the views up on this. Hey man, let's give flowers where flowers due. Tobias, all he was there was available. He didn't miss games. You know what I mean? He shot a decent percentage. By no stretch of mind, Tobias fan, but then looking back in retrospect, I would rather have him right about now. That would keep my locker room intact and at a cheaper rate. So let's like, comment, subscribe. Let me hear what you got to say. I'm sure you guys got some input. I welcome all input. This ain't about me sitting here babbling. You might have a different perspective that I never actually, got wind of, and I'm interested to know what they are. So please share that information, and we can have healthy debate because it is healthy. And it's no one here knows more info than the next. I'm on the outside looking in. I don't have access to the Sixers locker room or any beat writers. I'm just a dude. I'm just a dude watching the games like you are. All right. So as always, party people, be safe. All right. Stay blessed up, and we out.